Hey guys, and welcome to another one of my 50th anniversary Sentai episode reviews. This time we're covering Gokaiger, and it's episode 1, The Space Pirates Appear. Let's get into the episode. The episode opens with Earth under attack from Space Empire Zanyak's fleet before it is destroyed by the combined powers of all Super Sentai in the legendary Great War. Later, aboard a space pirate ship, the robot bird Navi says it can sense Earth and the galaxy's greatest treasure. As the Gokaigers question whether or not Earth is the home of the greatest treasure, they are told by a person fiddling with Sentai keys it will be there, before an alarm starts to sound. As they discover Zanyak's fleet between them and Earth, Captain Marvelous says they will make sure it goes well, because that's what pirates do. Powered up, they prepare to take on the Zanyak, with Marvelous at the helm cutting through enemy ships, before transforming to robot mode and blasting them all before changing back to a ship and heading for the planet. On Earth, people stop and stare as a flying pirate ship comes in overhead and drops anchor before the Gokaigers drop down to a roof and introduce themselves before asking where the greatest treasure is. But the team are disappointed when nobody knows anything about the treasure. So Marvelous decides to go eat and asks for one of Luca's rings for payment. Aboard the Zanyak flagship, Commander Wars Gill declares an all-out assault on the planet with the main invasion force. As he is informed that the advanced fleet was destroyed by the pirates, he orders a course for Earth. Below, Luca is able to sell one of her rings before the team head to Snack Safari, because Marvelous says it smells good, and he heard curry is pretty good. The team receive their food, and just as they are about to eat, a blast destroys the shop and sends Luca's money everywhere. As the team watch the Zanyak attacking, Marvelous decides to return to the galleon. As the Zanyak forces land on the planet, they are led by Action Commander Shikabanen, who starts blowing up buildings as the humans are attacked. As the commander threatens a bunch of school kids and their teachers, they're seen by the Gokaigers, who say Earth's fate may be to be taken over like their own planets. But Marvelous steps forward and shoots the commander. As the team face down the Zanyak, they hold up their ranger keys and transform. Armed with swords and guns, they take the fight to the Zanyak, as the kids look on and the teachers ask if these are the 35th Sentai. As the pirates fight, Doc and Joe swap weapons, with Doc blasting away with a pair of guns and Joe slicing away with 2 swords, before Yellow and Pink do a similar thing. As the remaining Gormin regroup, the Gokaigers pull out some new Ranger keys to become the Go Rangers, the original Sentai team, before using the Go Rangers' finishing move, which ends up as a garbage truck sucking in the Gormin. Before using another set of keys, the Gokaigers transform into the Shinkenjas, and then the Magi Rangers, finishing off the last of the enemy soldiers. With only Commander Shikabanen left, he fires at the pirates, who, changing back to their Gokaiger forms, jump to attack the commander, before lining up and performing Final Wave, destroying the commander. After, the pirates realise if they weren't considered enemies of the Empire before, they are now. But they're approached by the teachers and children, who thank them for the save. But Marvelous smiles and walks away, as Luca says they're just pirates searching for treasure. One of the teachers asks why they fought to save them, and Marvelous says it was for curry rice. He was angry he didn't get any, and with that, the pirates walk off. Okay, I'm going to say it now and get it out of the way. If you're going to do a Super Sentai Anniversary series, this is how you do it. I mean, I know technically I'm only supposed to be talking about the first episode, but this series is one of my favourites. You know, as recording this, you know, I've not long since finished Ranger. I was giving serious consideration to doing this series next. Partly because it covers so many seasons of the first... Well, it covers all the first 35 seasons in some way or another. Which is a nice way to sort of look back at them. But also because this is just such a great series. Like, season. And even now, I mean, right now, for those of you watching this video after it's been up for many, many years, you know, right now, we've just had episode 21 of number 1 Sentai Gokaiger. And that is the 49th season, and it's the 50th anniversary celebration series. And it's okay. A lot of people are annoyed that, you know, most of the Universe Sentai warriors, or whatever they're being called, are being defeated off screen, out of episodes, and we're just getting them used as puppets, which is a thing that was introduced in this season, but it was also repeated 10 years later in Zenkaiger when Stay Caesar was using like Sentai teams as puppets, using the cogs. So, or gears. Was it gears? Yeah, gears. So the fact that we've got another back, and it's only 4 years since the last time it was done. You know, it's copying this. This is the season that's being copied repeatedly because it was so damn amazing. And part of the reason for that is the tragedy of, I think it was March the 11th, 2011 was the Tohoku earthquake, which led to the major tsunami and the Fukushima disaster. And because of that, you know, there was a call that went out for a Sentai series to really, you know, boost like the mood, basically. Which has been done before. I believe it was O-Ranger, where I think it was the nerve gas or something, subway bombings in Tokyo. Don't quote me on it. I know it's some sort of terror attack in Tokyo. And the series have been quite dark. And because of like these horrible events that were happening in Japan, they did a complete tonal shift of O-Ranger, which sort of led to a sort of whiplash effect in the show, which really hurt it. In this case, obviously it started airing in February, so about a month before the disaster. They were able to change a lot as it went through. We got cameos from pretty much every team, if not every team before this, throughout the season. And it became everyone's favourite, which is really ironic for Power Rangers fans, because Megaforce and Super Megaforce, which obviously are based on Gokaiger and Gokaiger, are some of the most disappointing, to be nice, seasons of Power Rangers ever. Which seems to be the consensus. I've tried watching them and I was put off about 5 minutes in because of the constant terrible like quips during the fights. It was just couldn't. I'm going to try at some point. I want to see what they did No matter how bad my mate keeps telling me it is, because he's seen all the Power Rangers. I'm watching Sentai, so we balance each other. But this show, I mean, it's even got the best Red Ranger. Well, I mean, Geki is still my number one for sentimental, nostalgic reasons, but otherwise, it's marvelous. This episode alone, which is what I should be talking about, they've gone for curry because they're hungry. You know, they don't know where the great treasure is, so they just go for curry. Can't blame them. But the shop gets destroyed because of the Zanyak, and they go out and they're just going to leave. They're watching everything going on. They're like, this planet's going downhill. It's going to end up subjugated like every other planet. Blah, blah, blah. But when he sees him threatening the little kids and the teachers, I mean, Sentai, of course, he's going to see that. But that's when he steps in. And also, like, the music as well. Just, it's like, yes, come on, come on. It's that build up of the music. And you're like, yes, like, come on, it's going to start. And, like, the Gokaigers are just so cool. They're led by Marvelous. And then you've got the ability to change, like the costumes, which hasn't been repeated again as such. Obviously, in this episode, they use both Go-Ranger and Magi-Ranger. Really cool. You've got the Mobarates, you've got the keys. It's like, and they change, and it's a brilliant, brilliant gimmick. Which, I mean, Zenkaiger didn't really go down that route. They had their own sort of tribute, because obviously that's the 45th season. And they just had a sort of power-up. It was just Stay Caesar, using the gears, who had the puppets of enemies, which was first used in this series, because you had a bad guy, but I can't remember his name, who had the puppet Rangers, or Sentai, which they then had to defeat, and they left the keys on the ground. Stay Caesar had the puppet Ranger teams from using the gears. And now we've got Garyudo in Gojuja, who also has puppets, but they're only focusing on Red Rangers now. So you don't get the whole becoming whole teams like we had in Gokaiger. It's just the Red Rangers. But he's doing the puppet thing again. So it's the third time it's been done. And it's all come from Gokaiger. If you haven't seen Gokaiger, watch Gokaiger. This was probably I don't even know what order I watched it in, but this was an earlier Sentai for me, out of all the ones I've seen. And I'm now watching more from before it. So I'm actually looking forward to by the time I next get around to watching Gokaiger, because I've seen so many more seasons, that I think this is going to be like feel even more than it did before. Because you watch this, you feel the love they had for Sentai when making this. This series, especially after the tragedy, just became one massive love letter to Sentai as a whole. And of course, we had the movie as well, 199 Sentai, which had 199. It had every Sentai. Like, member, even like the extra members. So like Gosei Knights. I can't remember the names of half of them. We even had Dragon Ranger, Kiva Ranger. They all appear in it. So even the Sith Rangers of teams. Signal Man from Car Ranger. You know, he was never a Ranger, but he worked alongside them. So, you know, everything. And then You had a giant mecha battle with every mecha involved. So, yeah, it's possibly one of my absolute all-time favourite seasons. And, yeah, like I say, it was just a love letter to Sentai as a whole. So, I don't know when I'll end up covering this season as a whole, but I'm looking forward to it if I get there. Because I just love this season. And yeah, the more you go through it, the better it gets. And it starts up with a hell of an episode, as you've just seen from this review. So, anyway, I'm going to get all nostalgic otherwise, so I'm going to end it here. And I'll see you guys next time.